everybody.
Hi, friends. Well, from beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm
a
Atheist.
podcast exploring religion, not talking about politics at all this week, and current events from two atheists just trying to survive life in these United States. I'm Dan Beecher.
And filling in for Frank again, I'm Kate Birch.
Oh my gosh, you guys, Frank is dying.
Poor Frank. Poor Frank. He had to spend the night in the hospital last night.
Yeah. So best wishes to Frank, who has walking pneumonia.
Yeah,
poor
send him
guy.
your love
And
well wishes.
He seems to be fine.
Besides the hospital part.
Well, I'm just saying, like, we've been texting, and
Yes.
he's been keeping me up on things, and so he seems to be okay.
Yeah.
Anywho, but we're still doing a show.
Yeah.
The show must go on.
We're not lazy.
No, not at all. Why do you want to start to do a?
You want me to get us going? Okay.
Launch it, baby.
Dan, I have a very special offer for you.
Oh,
today.
good.
For a limited time only.
Okay.
If you want to get into religion and start paying tithing, we're offering a money-back guarantee.
Wait. Oh, hang on. I've actually never heard of that actually being offered. So
I have never heard of that being offered either, but apparently there is a church, I think it's called Gateway Church, in Texas, and it's a pretty big non-denominational congregation, and apparently the guy who founded it, it's now like, I don't know, one of the biggest mega churches in the nation. It has like 100,000 active attendees.
Oh my.
But anyway, recently the guy who started it was accused of sexually abusing a girl when she was 12 in the this was in the 1980s, and it's caused kind of a mass exodus, which is great. I think like 25% of the congregants were like, see you later.
Wow.
We don't want to be involved with this, which I think that's amazing. I love it when people are like,
when people actually don't double down when something horrific happens.
Exactly. When they're not like, oh, but it was just one girl. How can you really believe her? But whatever the excuses are.
Right.
So, but the irony is that this church is apparently one of maybe a few churches who have started offering money back guarantees on your tithing.
Wow.
So like this church.
For what though? Like under what just any, under any circumstances?
Yeah. So this one, the man who ran this church in 2022 said something along the lines of, I've told our church on multiple occasions that if you try it for 1 year and you're not fully satisfied at the end of that year, I'll give you your money back. Wow. And after 22 years, no one has ever asked for their money back, supposedly. So the people now are like, let's give that a go.
All right. I accept your offer, sir.
We would like to have our money back, please. Anyway, but it's funny because so one of the women who is fed up with it and is leaving the church has found a bunch of other congregants, and they're filing a lawsuit against Gateway Church. And I think that they're also not only just asking for their tithing back, but they're saying that they've committed financial fraud with their tithing, because apparently not only did they offer a money back guarantee, but they also had some promises about where their tithing would go. Mm-hmm. And one of those promises was that like 15% of it would go to like, I guess, preaching abroad or something, or
some sort of missionary.
Yeah, missionary work. And so having the impetus of like being angry at the church has made some of the people look back on their records. They've dug in a little bit and have found out that the promises that they've made have not been fully kept. And so, they're suing. And
I love it.
I don't know if they're going to win, but I'm guessing they might.
Oh, I don't know. To get an American judge to rule against a church,
that's a good point.
Is a question. Like, Who knows? Who knows? But it just seems like just hope that they don't appeal. If you win,
right?
Hope that they don't appeal.
They will always. People will always appeal.
Yeah,
that's just what
churches will certainly.
Yeah, they have all that tithing money. They can spend it however they want on appeals, on lawsuits, probably on boats. Who knows?
You never know.
I'm always surprised though when people give tithing to a mega church that they're not just assuming the money is not going where they want it to go.
I just think, I mean, people just inherently trust their churches. So what are you going to do?
It's sad.
All right. Well, I'm going to take us to Iran.
Oh, fun.
Where apparently there is a small contingent of Jewish people.
Oh, I would not have guessed that.
Persian Jews, which, it's a little surprising, I suppose.
I mean, I just always kind of think, and maybe it's just the whole Middle East kerfuffles, that I just always think they dislike one another.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And now is a particularly bad time to be Jewish in...
I can imagine.
In the Middle East, if you're not in Israel.
Yeah, and even then, it doesn't sound so appealing.
Yeah, so this is the story of one Arvin Gahramani.
Okay.
Gahramani. I don't know how to pronounce. I beg everyone's pardon. But he was a 20-year-old Jew living in Iran.
Uh-huh.
He got into a scuffle with a guy named Amir Shokri, who apparently, or at least his Gahramani's family claims that Shokri owed him money.
Mm-hmm.
There was a fight,
mm-hmm.
and Gahramani, the Jewish gentleman, ended up stabbing and killing Shokri. His family claims that Shokri came at him with a knife, and then it sort of went the other way. Anyway, because there are no witnesses, Gahramani was not given, according to like human rights watchers, he was not given a fair trial. He was not given good representation, and now was sentenced to either death or retributive justice. And that's interesting, which is...
What is that like? Would that be stabbing the same amount of times?
No, in this case, it would be if the victim's family accepted money as a blood payment, he could get out of it.
Oh.
So his family and sort of Jewish community at large raised over $1 million.
Whoa!
As a sort of retribution for the family of the victim.
Did they not accept it?
They did not accept it.
Wow.
And he was killed.
Wow.
He was hanged by the Iranian government.
Wow. I mean, he did kill someone.
He did kill someone. That's true.
So...
whether it was self-defense or not is in question.
Yeah.
But wow. But imagine, look, we don't know the reasons why the family of the victim decided that $1 million was insufficient and they'd rather just see this kid, this 20-year-old die.
Ooh.
But that's apparently what they decided. And without any warning, without telling his lawyers or his family.
Oh, really?
The Iranian government just...
Boop. Wow.
So that...
I mean, I am not a fan of the death penalty for anything.
No.
I also think it feels weird to say, you want to take this money instead? Like, that does feel a little weird, but...
It feels maybe archaic.
Yeah.
But also... Like, frankly, to me, that feels a lot more like it. Like, nothing feels like justice.
There isn't justice when you've lost a person.
I don't believe in justice as a concept. I think it's a weird and probably not real concept. But I feel like the victim's family would gain a lot more from $1 million than they would from the death of a guy. But like they're clearly
angry.
They are their hearts are apparently there's bloodlust. I don't know what it is. Like it's an idea that I cannot understand at all.
Yeah, I would much rather, if I was the family of somebody that had lost somebody, instead of money, I would be like, can I pick an organization that you now have to volunteer at for the rest of your life? Or something like that, you know? That would feel a little bit more like
justice.
Yeah, I don't know if it would feel like justice, but it would, I don't feel like something maybe.
The other thing is that their legal system is very clearly there are two different legal systems.
Yeah.
One for Jewish people and one for Muslim people.
That's very scary. I would be getting out of that country if I was.
Yeah.
I mean, that just sounds, that's just scary.
Yeah. Not that we are advocating anyone get out of a country just because everything's gone to shit in their home. We're not talking about it. I mean,
if you're being put to death for maybe possibly something that you didn't do.
Or something that you did, but you don't need to be put to death for it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Here's what I would say.
Be safe.
Get out of a country before you kill anybody.
Or how about don't kill anybody?
Try not to kill people. That's for sure.
I think that's a really good piece of advice.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to Earth. Try not to kill anybody.
Yeah. And also don't be a cunt. I like that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got?
Okay. This one's kind of a bummer of a story. There's nothing funny about it.
Oh my God. We got so many bummers of stories.
Guys, this was a hard week.
We're going to just have fun with it.
We're going to try.
We're all here to have fun.
Yeah.
The stories are rough, but we're here to have a good time. So let's try. Let's see how we have a good time with this one. What do you got?
This one comes from our own backyard. So in Davis County in Utah, there's a city called Fruit Heights. And they're just playing a little NIMBY, a little not in my backyard. Mm-hmm. So there had been a church. There was a church called, now I'm forgetting. Mountain Road Church.
The Church of the Holy, of the Holy Hypocrites.
Well, no. This church was actually the church of the trying to do the right thing.
Okay.
So this church was trying to open up their space on very cold nights when there's something called a code blue.
Okay.
This is when it drops below 18 degrees and there's like there's a wind chill factor that makes it below 18 degrees. Mm-hmm. And what it's trying to do is just get homeless people off of the street where they're going to be endangered and to bring them inside where they can be safe so that they're not dying of cold exposure. And so this church recognized that Fruit Heights was one of the places in Davis County. Like if there's a city, I think it's with enough residents over like 175,000 or something, this is a new law. They have to have places for people to come stay on these cold blue nights. And so this church was like, we volunteer. And so basically what they were going to do was they were going to have a bus that went around the city. And I guess it might have been to certain pickup spots where people knew they could go if they needed a warm place to sleep on one of these nights. And they would gather up the people and they would take them to the church and let them stay. I can't remember the exact hours, but it's overnight. And then at like 7 the next morning, they'd take them back. And the people in this neighborhood or in Fruit Heights all came together and said, no, we didn't approve of this.
With a resounding voice, they said, fuck what Jesus said.
Yeah.
I'm interested in not that.
Yeah. And they were like, we don't approve of having these unsheltered people stay warm in this church that claims to be, doing good for people.
Right.
We don't want that. Yeah. Take them somewhere else. So
18 degrees Fahrenheit for those of you who live in a civilized society is -7 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, very, very cold and not. I just can't imagine looking at somebody in the face and saying, I would rather you just stay out on the street and not be someplace warm.
I was outside last night in like 30-something degree weather in a full coat and like another thing on and by a fire. And I was still like, it's too cold.
I'm uncomfortable. Yeah. Yeah, I just, I don't understand people. I don't understand, especially in a state, and I'm sure in Davis County where people are predominantly Christian, to say no.
Well, when Jesus said, take care of the poor and, clothe the naked and all of those things.
He meant
he didn't mean he didn't mean you specifically.
Oh, don't do it.
He meant like
somebody else.
A vague somebody should do that.
But somewhere
but like
else.
not near my house.
Ew, gross. Not by my house. Don't take care of people by my house.
Yeah, what if I happen to see one of them?
Yeah.
That would make
it's very scary.
That would make me feel icky.
It's very scary.
All right. Well, speaking of feeling icky, you're about to.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to tell you about one Jason Yates.
Okay, please do.
His most recent job has been as CEO of My Faith Votes.
Okay.
Which is
I'm sure they've done a lot of good.
So much good in this world. Yeah, they're a nonprofit focused on they're focused on empowering people of faith to vote in every election. So
to vote any way that their heart
said.
Okay.
I'm sure not. The definitely very, very conservative agenda, et cetera, et cetera. This is a guy who just a few months ago wrote a piece for the Washington Times. Do not get it confused with a newspaper that is actually a quality newspaper.
Okay.
New York Times or Washington Post are both reasonably decent.
Yeah. They're legitimate, at least.
Washington Times.
No, not so much.
No, just a right-wing rag. Anyway, he wrote a piece for that where he was talking about how children are, and this is a quote Hemant Mehta used.
I'm worried.
This essay has been taken down. But it was about he was talking about how children were, quote, being programmed to believe sexually deviant behavior. I don't know. I believe in sexually deviant behavior. I
to believe in it.
He's just
that it exists.
To believe it. I don't know what that means. Anyway, I'm guessing it was not a well-written piece.
I think that you've probably got a good clue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In it he complained about a trip that he took with his son where he encountered at a university, mind you, not at a high school or whatever. He encountered some things like, probably a rainbow flag.
That's deviant.
And, a button to wear for his kid to wear that like said what his pronouns were.
Ew, they believe in those?
Just awful deviance. The deviance of like being who you are.
Rainbows
and
pronouns.
Anyway,
they're brainwashing these kids.
Anyway, if you don't see where this one's going, you're about to. Yes,
he's gay. What? I don't know.
No, he was convicted of
rape,
child porn.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. 8 felony counts of possession of child pornography.
Gross.
So, I mean, yeah, he definitely should be complaining about deviant sexuality.
Well, they probably are the ones who did it to him. If he
gays?
had not gotten that button that said like he, him, he'd probably be fine by now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's always a projection, isn't it? It seems like look, the louder someone yells about something, the more suspicious I am at this point. Yeah.
I don't, it's just so gross. It's just, they're all so gross.
They are.
Turns out that
and hurtful and
according to the court documents, what happened was, and God bless this person, a relative was at his house and was just looking for a place to store a bunch of files and grabbed a hard drive. And
it had stuff on it.
And it had this stuff on it.
And they turned him in. That's very brave.
Yeah.
And
necessary.
Yeah.
Like if you catch a relative with this kind of stuff,
there's
on
just
a hard
some
drive,
stuff that's just completely unacceptable.
You can't protect them. You can't. You just gotta
get them some help. Get them turned in. Yeah.
Get them arrested. Anyway, there you go. Well, as I said, his piece has been pulled. Even the Washington Times
pulled it.
Was not okay. Had realized, we probably shouldn't have a guy complaining about
a sex offender. Yeah.
Complaining about how
deviancy,
how the bad guys are doing bad things to the children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe not.
Yikes.
Well, speaking about somebody doing things to children, this actually isn't as bad as that.
You didn't set it up that way.
I'm sorry. Okay. Yours is way worse. This is tame compared to that. Still, just leave the fucking kids alone. Just leave the kids alone.
Just let them go to the playground and
Yeah. So this is about an illusionist.
Ooh.
And hey, I like a good illusion. I like some magic.
Okay.
I'm on board with that. But apparently, there are some Christian illusionists. I guess, if you're a Christian performer of any sort, or if you're a performer of any sort and maybe not very good, you can become a Christian performer and then you actually can get gigs.
Yeah.
So, but what had happened was there was a high school in South Carolina that had hired this man, Brian Drake, who's an illusionist, to come do a performance for the kids. And the Freedom from Religion Foundation had found out
the FUFRF
had found out about this, and they said, "Hey, just so you know, this guy is not just a performer. He's going to come in and try to preach to the kids, and we do not approve of this.
And you're not allowed to let them.
Yeah, and
it is illegal for you to let him do that.
Exactly." And they were like, "We don't know that that's what he is." And apparently, it's hard to prove something beforehand. Right. That they couldn't say, "Hey, you can't tell somebody, I know that you know this."
Yeah, but you can also, what you can do is make them aware of the thing, and then they can say, "Hey,
don't do this.
Before you get up there, you have to agree to not proselytize anything to the children." Which
it's clear just looking at the this guy's Instagram posts and stuff that his number one priority is to get the kids to come to Jesus. I'm going to read you a little thing. Let's see if I can find it. He said, so this is kind of their ad. It says, "Brian and Carla Drake have performed for hundreds of thousands of people over the past 10 years. They have witnessed the amazing grace of God firsthand as thousands of people at their shows have surrendered their lives to follow Christ." So basically what their gig is they go into schools and they do an actual show.
Watch me pull a Jesus out of a hat.
And then they say, we're having a free event tonight. It's free to attend. And then the kids are like, "Mom, Dad, I want to go see some magic at this free event." And they go to the free event and it's literally just preaching to them about Jesus.
Yeah. So they don't do the preaching at the school. This is how
it's kind of a bait and switch thing. Yeah. It's they kind of hook the kids and then they're like, "You loved this, huh? Come to this thing tonight.
Come to this free event.
And
it's clothing optional."
Right. Anyway, so it's funny because like I said, on his social media, he totally admits about what he's doing. So he says our events are 100%, public school friendly. We have a passion for reaching communities through the schools, but we always want to point the students to a nighttime event where we can share the gospel with them.
Yeah.
So gross.
Borf.
I don't know what's going to, happen with this case, but hopefully the district has been made aware that, this guy was doing this, and
they allowed it.
They allowed it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what kind of follow-up they have with that.
Well, I anticipate all of this getting much worse. I really, honestly, your earlier point is true that, like, if you want to make money in today's America, just take whatever you do and add the word Christian to the front of it.
100%.
Just do it. Who cares?
Yeah.
I won't blame you. If you decide that, like, your band hasn't been doing great and you want to make more money, and your band's not that good.
Yeah.
Be a Christian band now.
I'm going to sell Christian laxatives. I think that's what I'm going to go for. I like that idea.
They're
full of shit, and then they'll shit it out.
Hey, do you feel like you're full of Christian shit? Let's get it out. Oh my God. All right. Well, I'm going to take us finally to Eritrea.
Okay.
The Eastern African country.
Oh, I thought that was the place in Neverending Story.
It is. Yes. This story is about our tax. No, in Eritrea, which sometime, let's see, what I know the year. I've got it here somewhere. Anyway, Eritrea broke off, declared independence from Ethiopia.
Oh, okay.
Back in the 90s, I want to say. Anywho.
Sometimes I'm embarrassed by my really poor geography skills. I can picture where Ethiopia is. So, okay.
Yeah. So just, it was just part of Ethiopia. And then there was a whole thing, I guess from the 60s into the 90s, there was a war of independence. Eritrea finally won its independence. Now, here's the thing. Jehovah's Witnesses are not allowed to, they don't participate in wars.
And holidays and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's just part of their gig. Well, Eritreans were not into people who were not willing to participate in their war.
Okay.
Even if they presented it as a neutral position rather than it wasn't an anti-separatist position.
It was just, we don't do this.
It was just, sorry, we don't participate in politics and wars and stuff.
I mean, I like that idea of not participating in wars. That sounds great.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like the only thing I've ever heard about them that I've been like, oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, I could do with less Christmas every year, but that's just me. Anywho, the J-Dubs, not only they didn't just get unpopular, they were rounded up and thrown in jail.
Oh.
And treated very, very badly. Apparently, Eritrean jails
are not pleasant.
Unpleasant.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah, exactly. Literally 270 Jehovah's Witnesses have been imprisoned in Eritrea, according to the J-Dubs.
For how long? Do we know?
I don't know. But they keep doing it.
Oh.
So a whole bunch of new ones. This is 30 years after the fact.
Yeah, so that's what I'm I guess a little bit confused about.
Yeah, but they just did another sweep, and because they made it illegal to be Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, well then why are they there?
Why are you there? Go away. I mean, I get, like, it's not easy necessarily to emigrate to another country, and it's not easy, but also, if your religion has been made, first of all, I mean, the theme of this shouldn't be leave that country. When we did the story about Iran, the theme shouldn't be leave the country. It should be religion is fucking awful.
Yeah. Yes.
Don't do religion and all of these problems are gone.
Yes. True.
You're just holding on to a thing. But I mean, I get it. Humans do that. I did it when I was religious. I would have held on. Look, when I was religious, if they had tried to persecute me, it probably would have kept me in longer.
You probably would have liked it. I don't know about liked, but it would have felt
I would have felt that holy
Righteous.
sense of righteousness,
Yeah.
and I would have stuck by it
Yeah.
come hell or high water.
Yeah.
I would have died for the cause, which is really, really stupid.
It's really stupid. I agree.
Anyway, the 64 new Jehovah's Witnesses are now prisoners in Eritrea.
Hopefully they don't make them celebrate holidays in prison.
Right?
Yeah. That would
you
be
are
upsetting.
sentenced to a birthday and to Christmas and Halloween.
And you have to wear a costume on Halloween.
You have to trick or treat and you will eat the candy. Well, if you would like to write into us about this or any of our stories this week, you can do so by writing to podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
And I want you to do it. I feel like I want some mail.
You want emails?
Yeah.
Okay.
If anybody's feeling just super excited, I want it to be like, Dear Kate.
Okay, well, someone can write to Dear Kate, and I guess I'll forward it to her.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, so feel free to write into us, or you can call into us and leave a voicemail. It's what is it? It's, I don't know what the...
866?
No.
1-800?
No. Go to another show and find the phone number. It's been a hard day. Anyway,
remember it's TGIA.
It is.
666 something or other.
Yeah, but there's an area code. Just, you're not helping. You're not helping at all. 424, that's what it is. 424-666-8442. Which is TGIA.
We did it. We did it.
All right. More show coming up. Well, we're going to do some email here, but alas, we do not have a lot of email. And part of the reason for that is that in all of the chaos of this week, with Frank being sick and me having various procedures, and like, also there is some chaos in the world. I don't know if anybody has noticed this. We didn't get our show posted on time.
Yeah, which is rude because I was in that show.
Well, it's posted now.
Okay, good.
But we did not get it posted in time, so we don't have any mail about last week's episode for now, as of when we're recording. We do have some emails, though. Hiram wrote into us to say, you guys totally missed the memo on garments.
Oh.
Hiram says, maybe because you're gay men. We'll give it to you. I'm fairly gay. Frank's all the way gay.
I mean, you sometimes dress fancy.
Yeah, I'm fancy.
You're fancy.
I'm not gay.
Yeah.
Anyway, Hiram goes on to say the sleeves are not that big an issue. It's all about the new slips that replace the women's boxers. Wearing a dress or a skirt makes it less likely to get a yeast infection. The boxers can't even hold a pad in place. I'm told the Mormon garments are a hot mess, literally. Not only are garments unhealthy for women, they are the opposite of sexy. I mean, we all knew that.
Well, the whole garments in general are not sexy.
Well, I mean, there is a certain demographic that finds it very sexy, but that's its own.
Okay.
There's a little
kink.
A little place in fetish land for those who like that, and that's fine. Hiram says all the Mormon women will be switching to the slips so they can go back to their sexy underwear or maybe no underwear. I'm really happy for them.
I, as a woman,
yes,
would like to take a little bit of issue with it and say, yeah, the sleeves were a big deal.
Yeah.
As somebody who used to wear garments, the sleeves were a big deal to me. I was pretty pissed when I heard about it. So maybe it's all a big deal.
It's all a big deal.
Yeah.
There you go. Peter wrote into us to say, just got done listening to episode 670. That was a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was really fun to hear Dave, and I thought he did a wonderful job. Hoping to hear more from him in the future. Yes.
Oh, Dave filled in.
Dave filled in.
Nice.
When
we were in England.
Yeah, and did a wonderful job. Thanks so much to him for that. And Peter also became a patron, a donor.
Nice.
Over on PayPal. I don't have the Patreon numbers because Frank figures out how to. I don't know how Frank calculates who's new and who isn't. So I don't.
He has all the special insight.
Yeah. So there will be more people to thank when he comes back. Hopefully a lot. And I hope you all go on and overwhelm him.
Yeah, overwhelm him.
With new patrons and make him feel so much better.
And special.
Yeah. Sign up if you want him to feel good and you have a little bit of extra dosh hanging around, you're feeling flush, you could become a patron of the show and that would be great. Anyway, Peter has become I'm going to say a high priest. I don't know what it is. I don't remember what our levels are right now. So.
I don't know. So I can't.
Yeah, and I'm not putting any pressure on myself. So anyway, we'll say an elder. Peter's an elder in the TGIA priesthood.
Congratulations.
We have bestowed magic powers upon Peter.
And underwear, maybe.
And he can have whatever underwear he wants.
Nice.
Yeah. If he wants garments, I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much to him and to everyone that has donated to us. If you would like to become a donor, a patron of our show, if you would like to make Frank so happy upon his return, please feel free to go to thankgodimatheist.com/donate and choose from either. You can become a patron over on Patreon. There's a thing on the right side of the screen, or you can sign up to do a one-time donation. Or a monthly thing.
So many choices.
Yeah, look.
All the choices.
We're trying to make it easy on you, but we desperately appreciate your help. It's the only way that we keep going. And we're going to thank one more person who is our Lord and Savior.
Hallelujah.
Davis! More show coming up. All right. What was your horoscope today, Kate? Do you know?
I'm a Gemini. So it was probably like, you are pretty great. I predict candy in your future and a new tattoo.
Oh my gosh.
Is that what it said?
It must be. It must be.
Yeah.
Here's what I wanted to talk about today.
Okay.
I was thinking about you and I have a friend who is big into astrology.
This is true.
She believes it.
Yeah.
She is convinced of it. She is actually a good thinker. She has a smart brain.
Brilliant.
We all know someone dear to us who is still religious or whatever. I don't know. Some people have expelled all of the woo and the
some of it feels like a game, though. Like astrology, Yeah. It doesn't feel like a religion.
Here's what I'm getting at. Woo, religion, beliefs that don't make any fucking sense, that aren't backed up by anything.
Yeah.
You're gonna encounter people in your lives who believe it.
Or who practice it.
Yeah. And who even proselytize it.
Yeah.
And whatever. And you're going to have to figure out how to deal with that.
That's true. You're probably not wanting to make fun of them every time you see them. That gets old.
Listen, plenty of our listeners definitely want to make fun of them every time they see them. And the question is, how do you handle the impulse to do that? Or how do you handle that conundrum? Many of us have family members who are believers.
Yeah.
And often pushy. So if you have family or friends, so what do you, I don't know. There's a line to walk where you don't want to support their dumb beliefs. But also, it's not nice or okay to say, hey, your beliefs are dumb.
Well, and I think maybe what it comes down to is how harmful is this belief to this person? So like
to the person or to the people around the person?
Well, to both. I mean, like somebody could listen to horrible music and that wouldn't mean that you'd say you're never allowed to listen to that music, you know?
Yeah.
Or somebody could be super into like kombucha that smells bad or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of things that you could be around that you wouldn't love the effect of, but that aren't harmful to that person. Right. And so I think, astrology often can fall into that category.
It's almost always harmless.
Yeah.
Unless the person is making important life decisions about like their own cancer treatment. Or
sure. Where they're going to move.
Yeah. I mean, even
breaking up with people. Yeah. I don't know.
Like, but sometimes people do make those decisions based on that. And to be honest, like here's the truth for me.
Okay.
Half of our decision making as humans is kind of arbitrary anyway.
Yeah. I mean, or it's based off of some bias that we don't even realize is happening.
It's based off of a bunch of shit that we think it's based off of our logical, I'm going to do a logical analysis of everything that all of the pros and cons, and then I'll make a wise and informed decision. Bullshit. Most of us just choose the thing that feels most good or least icky.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if two things feel about the same, you just kind of pick one. Or you don't, and you let them both slide by. It's like, so to me, if someone makes a grand life decision based on a tarot reading,
right,
it's kind of as good as anything.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, with stuff like tarot, unless it's like a health decision or something, I think often it's just a way for people to kind of look inward in a way that they're not necessarily good at.
You know what it is? It's throwing a dart at a board, but like feeling more directed about it or something.
Yeah, totally.
And it's also a way of like, half the time when those moments when you're like, hey, should I do this or this? Should I order the chicken or the fish? And then somebody goes fish, and you go, actually, it's the chicken.
Yeah.
Just having to confront a solid decision.
Yeah.
Can sometimes be enough to like help you make the choice that you actually wanted to make.
Yeah. I think also, as I'm thinking about some of the things that feel kind of woo, like I'm thinking a little bit like, so astrology or tarot or witchcraft or
Jesus.
A lot of these things are kind of, they're just ways as humans who we like things that inform us about ourselves, and we're self-centered, and we want to think about like how am I positioned in this world, and how can I best move throughout the world.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, if it's a thing that feels pretty benign, then usually there's not a problem with it. And this is how religion would be too. Religion, if it wasn't persecuting people, if it wasn't, telling other people that they needed to follow the same belief system,
right,
it wouldn't be problematic.
Or it wouldn't be as problematic.
That's true.
I just think, here's what I think. And here's maybe what I'm calling for here.
Okay.
Because we call for this in so many other parts of our lives.
Uh-huh.
But oftentimes our group, atheists in general, whatever, don't call for it in this way. And I am, which is grace for people who believe dumb shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even, and I'm not talking about it, but like even people who vote in terrible, terrible ways.
Yeah.
It is important, I think, to try to understand where their information bubble is so completely different than yours, and they got if the only thing we are allowing ourselves to believe about someone who believes differently and votes differently than we do is that they are just hate, They are driven only by hatred.
Yeah.
If that's what we're doing, we are denying them humanity.
Yeah.
In the way that they would that those hateful people that they're imagining would deny us humanity.
Well, I know a lot of people are right now butting up against that because they think and to each their own.
And listen, you don't got to do this now.
Yeah.
Part of my whole thing right now is that I am not thinking about things that are making me feel a lot of pain right now. I am not, it's why none of our stories are about a certain event that happened in the last week.
Yeah.
I'm not saying now.
Well, also,
I'm not saying in the moment. I'm not saying, but I am saying that, like, as a grander idea, as a grander thought, I think it is really important for all of us to find ways of not only acknowledging, but of, like, really taking to heart the humanity of other people. And part of that is recognizing that humanity kind of sucks.
Yeah, because you can see somebody's humanity and say, you know, you hurt people with that.
And you don't have to forgive people who have done awful things.
No.
That's not what I'm claiming.
Yeah, but you're saying you also recognize that you are a fallible person.
We're all...
And stupid. And
we all have this stupid ding-dong DNA.
Yeah. Totally.
We're all doing the best we can with it, and a lot of us are really doing a piss poor job of it.
Yeah. And maybe also right now allowing yourself to do a piss poor job of it.
Yeah.
If you're just angry and hurting, maybe just right now you also just allow yourself to be angry and hurt.
Yeah, no one can blame you for that.
Yeah.
No one can blame you for that.
Yeah.
That's totally okay. And if you can't ever, like, I'm calling for grace for yourself.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Maybe first and foremost.
Yeah.
Like, especially right now is a time for everyone to just grace the shit out of themselves.
Yeah.
I am right now, I forgive any bad behavior on my part. Anything that I do that's shitty for the next however long I need.
Yeah.
Or that's not healthy or that's not helpful.
Yeah.
If I just sit in a corner and do nothing and neglect everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to give myself grace for it.
Yeah.
If, for example, this podcast didn't get posted when it needed to because there was a bunch of bad communication, or rather a lack of good communication, between a sick guy and a guy getting a colonoscopy. I'm going to give grace for that.
I absolutely agree.
If you guys don't give grace to us for that, that's on you. That's your thing. That's fine. I give you grace for not giving me grace. I am calling for a kind eye to be shone on whomever you can.
Yeah.
As much as you can. Like, go as far as you can. Don't be dumb.
Well, and
don't subject yourself to badness because you're trying to be kind.
Exactly. Yeah. And also, don't be angry with yourself if you're like, I can't find that kindness in myself right now.
Grace.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's not there. I'm just going to hate that person.
All right. Grace, that's where we are right now.
That's where I am right now. Maybe I can find
something in the future.
More in myself later.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. You guys, we just need to be... we need to take care of ourselves and each other so much. Go find someone you love and hug them.
Yeah, I agree.
I love all you guys so much. Maybe not individually. I don't know. Maybe some.
But you probably would if you met him.
I probably would. Anyway, I hope you're all doing okay. And I hope that the message of just take a breath.
Yeah, be easy with yourself.
Be easy with yourself and humanity.
Yeah.
Because we're all just apes with cell phones.
Absolutely.
All right. I don't know if there was coherence to that. If it was completely incoherent, I give myself grace for that.
Nice.
And you.
And
especially
to me as well.
You.
Oh, thank you.
Because you were so gracious as to come on the show.
Happy to help.
Thank you so much
you're
for
welcome.
filling in for Frank.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be back next week, but
Fingers crossed.
I make no guarantees about that. Anyway, if you would like to write into us about this or anything that we've said on the show, we will give you grace to do so. Please feel free to write in at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com. If you'd like to become a supporter of the show monetarily, go to thankgodimatheist.com/donate. We should do a /donut as well.
Ooh, I would give to that.
Yeah, I'm sure you
Do
would.
I get a free donut?
No, you're giving a donut.
Oh, I'm giving a donut.
Yeah,
okay, I would do that.
Give a donut, take a donut.
Yeah.
That's all it means. Anyway, our show is edited by Roger Gowdy, music by the Red Rock Hot Club and Gordon Johnston. Thanks to all y'all for tuning in. We deeply appreciate you. We'll talk to you again next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank God I'm Atheist is a production of TGIA Media, LLC, copyright 2024, all rights reserved.